Today I'm going to be playing a Patreon deck from Mock. So this is a wild mage deck, which there are certainly a lot of, but this one is a little bit unique because it plays Mana Cyclone, and surprisingly along with the Mana Cyclone, we don't really play a win condition. We don't play Open the Waygate, we don't play Flame Waker, there's no Mozaki in this deck. No giants even. So all we're really trying to do with this deck is generate some burn and then start launching fireballs, runed orbs, frost bolts, and arcane missiles.
Jaina versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
You asked for it.
Mana Cyclone's really good. Confection Cyclone's good with elemental allies, but it's bad without it, so I guess I toss it. I feel like this deck has a really hard time doing anything if you don't hit elemental allies, so I want to mulligan for it pretty aggressively.
I cannot wait to read these.
I must move quickly.
Cannonball!
Get in there, Confection Cyclone. Die to a 2/2 that drops something.
Reporting for duty.
Hero Power Pass. Oh boy, a 5/5. That thing's gonna murder me if I don't murder it first.
I'm going to throw the book at you.
Okay, we drew a good card.
A whirlwind of flavor.
Save the other Sugar Elemental for next turn. So I can Sorcerer's Apprentice, Sugar Elemental, Mana Cyclone. I'll have 1 mana to work with, including the coin, so I can play the other 4 cards in my hand.
Reporting for duty.
Eight cards.
Whirlwind of flavor.
Alright, I think the play is Fireball Pass. And then next turn we really go off when the Phoenix wakes up. I have coin plus Mana Biscuit, so I'm going to be on 9 mana next turn, basically. Hopefully I can pick up my other Sorcerer's Apprentice, but it's not necessary. Planning to play 2 copies of Arcane Missiles next turn, so I'm not really too concerned about those 1/1s.
Someday I'll be just like you!
Throw out the Mana Biscuit, throw out the coin. Wow. What garbage. Incanter's Flow is fine. So Simulacrum makes a Gyre Worm, which is fine. I guess Splitting Image is fine. Protects either my Imprisoned Phoenix or my Sorcerer's Apprentice. I gotta say though, I got a hand of a bunch of garbage.
Reporting for duty.
Well, I think I just want to play Power of Creation. My opponent does have this weapon, but I'm not really that concerned about dying to it. So I don't think I need to take Safeguard. I'll just take the big dragon. Save this magic trick. I do have another Mana Cyclone in the deck, and the card from it isn't playable this turn anyway.
Good explorer comes prepared.
So Devolving Missiles and Polymorph are good ways to deal with that. Actually, that Shatter I passed up earlier would have ended up being pretty good here. Lovely. What is this? Potion of Polymorph? Not very exciting. I will play the magic trick here because I could use something. Wow. A bunch of garbage. Counterspell can be okay though. Maybe it hits the second Libram of Hope. What about you, Unstable Portal? Are you garbage? Pretty garbage, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and drop Cone of Cold. Cone of Cold does 3, huh?
Fireball ready.
I guess it's your time to die, Phoenix. You've done enough. So I'm showing 14 and my opponent's at 15. But I didn't get my counter spell down, so if they do have Libram of Hope, I have to deal with that. I also didn't get my Rigged Fair game down, which would have been pretty nice.
Shatrak will not fall in vain.
This seems bad. They get a Blessing of Kings. Oh, they do get a Libram of Hope off of that, right? So if I can't manage to find lethal here, I am going to have to deal with that. Mana Cyclone. We can copy the Mana Cyclone, I guess. Eat a biscuit. Throw down the counter spell. Played 4 spells this turn. So if I rigged Fair Game, Mana Cyclone, I go down to 3, up to 8. So the rigged Fair Game only effectively draws 1, unless I get to play one of those cards.
What to do? What to do?
I think that's fine. Well, this meteor I picked up is actually pretty good on the 8/8. I also got a Pexus Blast, so if they would heal up to 12. Oh, they're just gonna get that counterspelled.
The victory is yours.
Nice.
Jane versus Lady Vash.
Your time ends now.
You asked for it.
Well, I don't want to keep random damage spells. Found the Mana Cyclone.
Oh, it says explode.
If I can hit elemental allies, then this hand is really good. Well, easy Confection Cyclone. Looks like we can worm next turn. Oh, nice. Yeah, we don't need to worm here. We'll just worm next turn.
How about a new How about a new eye?
Alright, gave me a good worm target on the turn I wanted to worm. Could have held the Elemental Allies as an activator for Mana Cyclone, but it's not like I really have a good Mana Cyclone turn coming up. It does kind of make me regret playing that first Sugar Elemental, though. See where the Runed Orb can take me. Ice Lance's damage.
Such choices.
Yeah, let's brawl.
Alright, well it does appear to be an evolved deck, but they didn't evolve, so fine with me. Deep Freeze and Ring Toss are both like kinda good, but also kinda hard to use. Maybe I'm just playing Mana Cyclone here. Flurry just because it costs 0. So I got 7 cards out of my Mana Cyclone without a Sorcerer's Apprentice. That's pretty good. I also got a little bit of damage with Forgotten Torch, and I got an Ice Lance, I guess. So assuming that this Ice Lance actually will do damage at some point, I've got 13 in hand. My opponent's at 20.
And plunder.
Oh, of course they got a Rush minion. What other kind of minion would they get? Well, unfortunately, outside of damage, my hand is garbage. I guess we'll draw a card like this. I might be Ice Lancing that minion. Another Mana Cyclone. I could Ice Lance Mana Cyclone. That would put me up to 10 cards.
I wonder.
I don't love wasting the damage out of the Ice Lance, but I also don't love letting my opponent have a 6-drop.
Such choices.
If power is what you seek, knowledge is what I provide.
I don't really know what Polkelt stacks in that deck. Maybe I should be scared.
Blood and plunder.
Oh. Fireball, you say? Fireball hero power, put the opponent to 10. Fireball Forgotten Torch hero power to put the opponent to 0. The opponent needs 13 damage, which isn't really doable. I mean, it is technically doable with like Bloodlust or something, but in practice, I don't think it's going to happen very often. I don't think they can evolve into like that new demon that makes my spells cost more. I don't think this is going to be good enough. Oh, they got a heal! They got a heal! Is that the only card I lost to? Vitality Totem?
I wonder.
Alright, we need Ice Block. Play Mirror Entity instead to take it out of the pool. Does Flame Ward keep me alive?
Time runs out on me.
Alright, so I need my opponent to attack with one of their small things, everything blows up to Flame Ward, and then they play a taunt to block their 8/8. Step 1. I just let him win. Alright, so time to make some changes to this deck. My win rate has not been very good, but I did get scammed in that last game. Before I start changing things in this deck, I think I am going to commit to not adding a win condition. I think I mentioned this before, but like Open the Waygate, Flame Waker, Mozaki, Giants, all that kind of stuff would fit into this deck pretty easily. But with the list that was given to me, I think adding any of that stuff would be like violating the spirit of the deck. So I'm going to avoid adding those and just try to keep it as a low curve burn deck that uses Mana Cyclone for more burn. Now, with that said, there are still quite a few cards I'm interested in adding. We currently don't play Elemental Evocation, which seems just insane with Mana Cyclone. Devolving Missiles also just tends to be a good card. We could maybe play Shooting Star. Ray of Frost is certainly just insane. There's also Incanter's Flow. The deck is a little bit reliant on Sorcerer's Apprentice right now, and Incanter's Flow is just like another copy of that. And then we also have Primordial Glyph, which is just a pretty good mage spell on its own. So if I want to add 2 copies of each of those, that's 12 deck slots, which it seems like it's going to be pretty hard to find. So I guess with that in mind, I probably just am not going to have room for the Shooting Star at least. And maybe not the Devolving Missiles either. But the other 2 ofs I definitely want to add. So I think the first thing I want to cut is going to be the Worm. Fine card, but I just think it's on the lower power level of what we have. Get the Evocations in there. I guess next up I want to cut the Lab Partners. They're fine, but no way they're as good as Ray of Frost. And then from here, I guess we would have to cut Burn, either Fireball or Arcane Missiles. So are we willing to cut Burn to add more support for Mana Cyclone? I think the card I'm most interested in adding at this point would probably be Incanter's Flow. Although this deck actually does play a pretty high number of minions for an Incanter's Flow deck. We play 10 minions. Also, Elemental Evocation doesn't benefit from it. Maybe we don't need Incanter's Flow. I do like the thought of playing Primordial Glyph, though. This might be dumb, but I think I'm going to cut Fireball for Glyph. Just more support for the Mana Cyclone, and then hopefully the Mana Cyclone can find Burn. I might regret that. But let's see how this updated version performs.
Jaina versus Anduin.
The light shall bring victory.
You asked for it.
Alright, insane. Elemental allies plus Confection Cyclone. I think either of the priest decks are going to be pretty hard to handle.
With a cherry on top.
Oh, another elemental allies. Don't mind if I do. Oh. It's some whack shit. Seven cards in hand. So if I play Confection Cyclone, I overdraw. I guess I'll just play Confection Cyclone here. Well, now I need to find Mana Cyclone and Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Your wish is my suggestion.
My hand is too full.
Oh, right. I forgot that that was adding a card to my hand. What a bad card to overdraw. Ice Lance's damage. I'm kind of tempted to just throw out these arcane missiles while they're guaranteed to go face, but I don't know. Maybe not the play against Awaken the Makers. I have so much damage next turn. I have 26, I think. And it's pretty easy for Ray of Frost to clear out some minions. Good old Zilliax, though. I don't think this is lethal, but I'm gonna just click my buttons. Alright, Reno me, please. Even if I don't get Reno'd, it's not that easy to draw into lethal. Because their hero power obviously outpaces mine. Nothing to use my Ray of Frost on. Otherwise, I for sure would have gone in for 4 here.
The path is clear for the worthy.
I can hero power arcane missiles here for another spell. Seems worth. I have so much mana. No, don't send all the damage into that. Jesus Christ. I mean, I actually drew some pretty good cards here. Hopefully my opponent can't kill that light shower elemental. Another elemental evocation. Well, it is a 0 mana spell. Although I guess the 1 mana thing was also 0 mana with Primordial Study or Primordial Glyph. Wildfire does let me match the opponent's hero power. It's probably good. Well, Pyroblast isn't too bad. Let's just go ahead and get this hero power in. And then hopefully Pyroblast will be good enough next turn. Even if it's not, I do have another Mana Cyclone turn lined up. That's fine, you can be at 8. Alright, cool. Looks like the Pyroblast we made was good enough.
Jaina versus Rome. Face the might of the Frost Wolves.
You asked for it.
I think Phoenix is worth keeping. Hopefully I can find a side quest to go with it.
With a cherry on top.
Of course it's the right way.
I guess I'll just grab a biscuit. My opponent value trades here, then I can Runed Orb. I do have a bit of a Mana Cyclone play here. But let's do it on the Phoenix turn.
Double the power, double the stars.
I've seen a couple of Galakron Shamans today. I wouldn't expect that to be popular in Wild. I'm not even going to play this here, because it's just Mana Cyclone Fuel next turn. Can play it for 0 with Sorcerer's Apprentice. Oh, I could have played the Sugar Elemental, though, if I wanted. But no, when I have Elemental... I guess I should have played Elemental Allies and Sugar Elemental, probably. No, I'm fine with the way I did this. If I do that, then I just don't have enough fuel for the Mana Cyclone to be relevant.
Someday I'll be just like you.
This does 6. Let's just go face. Trying to win the game. This does face damage. And it's somehow the least expensive one here. I can play this. Sure, let's just generate more stuff. Pretty good brain freeze. The Dragon's Fury and Astral Rift are trash. These are not that good either, but Evocation can be good.
Of course it's the right way.
Oh, eat 7. They dealt with my phoenixes.
A whirlwind of flavor.
Not a very good meteor, but I do need to clear some stuff out of the way for these arcane missiles.
I wonder.
Out the way! Someone's head!
Not a very impressive turn. But I don't know that my turn is going to be that impressive either. Wildfire is damaged, but it takes 3 turns to outdamage Frostbolt, or to break even with Frostbolt, so probably just take the bolt.
Scrumptious.
Let's just cast Shin on some missile damage. The opponent's at 7, I have Frostbolt, so Frostbolt and then just Evocation into like anything. And I can dump Evocation, or Elemental Evocation, and Mana Biscuit for 0. Is the opponent trying to kill me with Yashiraj next turn? Well, they don't get a next turn, silly Shaman. Alright, so I played quite a few more games with the deck, and in the end my conclusion is we really need to add a win condition. Mana Cyclone on its own is just not good enough to win games. You get so much random garbage off of it. I mean, maybe I made a mistake by cutting the fireballs. Maybe those should go back in. Or, like, maybe the lab partners were actually pretty good at supporting the cram session. I did kind of miss them in that regard. But at the end of the day, you're just going to have way better results if you throw in, like, a couple copies of Flamewaker. But at the point that you're including Flamewaker, then you kind of don't really need all the elemental stuff, and that really changes the deck. But I feel like you get kind of the same vibe from that you get from this, and you're probably just going to win a lot more games. If you insist on sticking with the elemental stuff, then probably the only change I would make is putting the lab partners back in. I don't really love cutting anything for them, but it would probably be the primordial glyphs. And I guess that's your build.